Why, hello there. Thanks so much for joining us for episode 39 of the Long Comics Book Club, a bi-weekly podcast about long comics, also known as manga and graphic novels. My name is Shane. I'm the older brother and comic acolyte. I'm joined by Spence, the younger brother and comic professional. Spence, is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it...
Supergirl?
What do you think?
Yeah. Well, they directly ask us in this comic, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, they also make a pretty good point about there's always going to be a faster bullet, always going to be a bigger building.
Yeah. Always going to be a stronger locomotive.
Always going to be a stronger locomotive, bigger planes, bigger birds.
Which is also the classic of like stronger than a locomotive. Geez, people in the 1930s needed bigger imaginations.
Yeah, it was a different metric of measurements back then, that's for sure. Because today we are talking about Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. This is a comic story run that ran in 2021 and 2022. Written by Tom King and art by Bill Evely. And so for the first half of the episode today, we'll be having our book club discussion, talking about themes, writing choices, plot choices, all that good stuff, as well as some interesting facts, likely from Spence, and a recommendation if you haven't yet read the book to decide if it's worth picking up. And then for the second half of the show, we are talking about the upcoming Supergirl movie, which was heavily inspired by this long comic. The movie comes out on June 26th, so we are going to give some of our predictions for the film, having now just read the inspiration. Yes. We will then
we haven't seen the movie. The movie's not out yet, so all assumptions of the thing are based on trailers and such that we've watched.
It's true. We're going off of trailers as well as the graphic novel that we have ahead of us, as well as the litany of film watching experience that we have, which is pretty substantial. So we'll see if we can make some informed guesses based on some of our background in the area. But yeah, this episode coming out on June 20th. So anything we say, it's impossible for us to have known. We're not time travelers. So your guess is as good as ours, but we're going to give you our guesses today. But then at the end of the episode, we're going to end off with Spence introducing the long comic for the next podcast, which is coming out on July 4th. And it is a manga as we alternate between the two formats so we get the best of both worlds. So make sure to stick around to the end of the show so that you can find out what's next and you can read along too. At the top of the episode, I want to give two thank yous. The first is to thank you, our listeners, for supporting the show. Whether it's your first time listening or if you're coming back every 2 weeks, thanks for hanging out, and make sure to follow the show if you aren't already. Hopefully the show encourages you to engage with these wonderful forms of media and that you enjoy them as much as we do. Stop by one of our social channels to join the discussion, or maybe you can even recommend the show to a friend and have a little book club discussion of your own. But of course, the big second thank you goes to Vesperia Manga and Comics for providing today's long comic, by which I mean thank you, Spence, owner and proprietor of Vesperia, online at VesperiaComics.com and physically located at 1935 West Broadway, Vancouver. Spence, you do still have a large hole in front of the shop. Is this true?
This is true. Hoping that subway gets finished soon, but...
In the interim, if you're driving in the area and you say, there's only construction here, not the case. There is a excellent little manga and comic shop hidden back there. There is also parking in the neighborhood, as well as you do have two spots out back. Is that accessible to everyone? Or
yes. Yep, we have parking in the back. Come on in, knock on the door. The back door locks on its own, but
but hey, it is available so that there you go, free parking that is accessible to you as a attendant to Vesperia Comics while you're shopping there. But getting into our book club discussion today, again, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, book of today. Spence, why did you choose Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow for our book club discussion?
Yeah, well, the easy answer is there's a movie that's based on coming out. Let's stay topical with, it's also a great story, all that. I was thinking, like, is it our newest thing we've done? But no, both Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, and Nice House on the Lake are also all more contemporary than it. But it is, for like what is treated as such a classic story, it is very contemporary compared to most stuff like it.
Yeah, I was surprised when I read that it's 2021, 2022, so during the pandemic, because it does feel like this is a iconic classic Supergirl story. So for it to be very new still within the last 5 years is pretty cool when we're seeing sort of these, what are likely going to be timeless stories coming out now. is pretty cool to be able to think of the generations to come that might look back on this story as well. So, to give a little plot synopsis, I like to read the back of the book just to give you an idea of what they're pitching to you. So, it's Supergirl like you've never seen her before in a character defining sci fi fantasy masterpiece from Mr. Miracle writer Tom King and Wonder Woman artist Bill Evely. Kara Zor-El has seen some epic adventures over the years, but now she finds her life without meaning or purpose. Here she is, a young woman who saw her planet destroyed and was sent to Earth to protect a baby cousin who ended up not needing her. What was it all for? Wherever she goes, people only see her through the lens of Superman's fame. Just when Supergirl thinks she's had enough, everything changes. An alien girl seeks her out for a vicious mission. Her world has been destroyed, and the bad guys responsible are still out there. She wants revenge, and if Supergirl doesn't help her, she'll do it herself, whatever the cost. Now, a Kryptonian, a dog, and an angry, heartbroken child head out into space on a journey that will shake them to their very core. This volume collects the entirety of the 8-issue miniseries Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Very interesting little back plot synopsis there, because it includes some elements that happened before this comic.
Yes, and also like a bunch of elements that aren't really brought up until near the end of the comic.
Mm-hmm. So we'll move into some spoilers as we discuss the plot. So just be aware that we are going to be talking about some of the big plot things that happen in this book. So look at the description for time codes if you want to be able to jump ahead. Otherwise, make sure to scoop this up at Vesperia so that way you can read along as well. So the parts that you're mentioning that aren't really in here, it's interesting they include a dog. They do mention that a dog comes along for the journey. Crypto is not.
No, not that part of the dog. Crypto is like the inciting incident of the dog or of the event, or is he? Question mark.
Yeah, Crypto very much getting shot by arrows and being poisoned, and then is not part of the trip. It is also very interesting. So this does mention about her going to Earth and need to protect a baby cousin, which I guess is Superman. This is all news to me. I wasn't aware of this part of Supergirl. It is not included in this. For context, I've read no Supergirl. This is absolutely my first intro to Supergirl.
And to be fair, I have not read anything modern Supergirl. Like the currently airing, well, I guess actually this predates the currently publishing comic. So, but yeah, because Supergirl's had a lot of different origins over the years.
As many superheroes tend to do.
Yes. But like Supergirl particularly. Because, she's one of the two characters who's famously killed during the Crisis on Infinite Earths back in 1985.
Oh.
And then, so then that causes, like, she was like an alien shapeshifter at some point. She's been a time traveler before. She's been, like, from alternate universes before. So she's been a lot.
Well, it's nice coming into this as a clean slate, no back knowledge Supergirl. I don't have any sort of pre-existing bias about Supergirl as a character, so I can just fully enjoy this Supergirl.
Never watched the Faye Dunaway movie?
I don't even know what that is.
There was a very bad Supergirl movie from like, when even was it? The original Supergirl movie was 1984.
Okay, interesting. So good old 80s. I imagine it was very much an 80s movie.
Oh, very much an 80s movie. And it was like made after they're finished. Like, was it before or after Supergirl? Yeah, okay, it was between Superman 3 and Superman 4. So like back when Superman movies were like very bad.
Oh dear. Well, this one is not very bad. This is a great book. And so this Supergirl that we are given is pretty badass, I think is the term that you would use.
Yes. So yes. So the often like one sentence blurb people use to explain this one is its true written space. And the important thing is Supergirl is not playing the little girl. Supergirl is playing John Wayne.
Yeah. What's also, I was reading about an interview that he did where he did provide that he was given a note to make Supergirl like Ryan something from True Grit. That this very much is meant to be a True Grit adaptation in some ways, which is pretty wild. True Grit in space. Rooster Cogburn of True Grit fame is who Supergirl is supposed to be portraying.
So I guess, played by John Wayne in the original and Jeff Bridges in the remake.
There you go. But yeah, she is uh, swearing left, right, and center. She is drunk when she first meets Ruthie, the girl that we mentioned in the back of the book description, who is out for revenge because of the murder of her father by Krem of the Yellow Hills. And the story essentially is Supergirl and Ruthie traveling across the galaxy, following the blood, death, and destruction left by the brigands and Krem.
Yeah. Originally after Krem, then Krem joins with like the most evil pirate crew in the galaxy, so that they have to deal with the pirate crew.
Yeah, and the book is all about them following them essentially, and just sort of having little mini vignettes in their following and seeing the atrocities that had been wrought until you reach there.
Very much eight issues, eight little stories basically, with like the last two being a little 1-2-parter.
With obviously some obstacles coming in the way of a magic teleporting Mordu globe, I think is what it's called, and then culminating at the end in a pretty dramatic standoff with coming face to face with true evil, one could say. But what a story it is, my goodness. Yeah, I mean, it makes it such a rewarding read when you have these scenes that you're following along. It's a great way to build the story because it is the combination of quite simple. It's the plot of a revenge, which is pretty straightforward, which just allows you to really focus on the themes and to create these different scenarios where you're seeing the way that true mercilessness can play out. And what are the impacts of loss? Essentially, I thought this was going to be a much happier comic. I thought this was going to be a pretty happy, jaunty Supergirl ride, but there's a lot of emotional heft in this. There's a lot of heaviness.
Which especially in comparison, we will go more into it later, but in comparison to what you see in the trailers for the Supergirl movie. That might make you think this is a little more lighthearted than it actually is.
Yeah, because this is quite heavy, quite intense. Because it is that they're following this group that just murders mercilessly, and I think in superhero media and comics in general, it can be easy to sort of just chalk up death and mass loss of life to just sort of statistics. So there's a lot of meaning when it slows down and it sort of sees the ways.
Like the Gravedigger scene is probably the most extreme example of that.
Yeah, the Gravedigger scene where you have this one alien who's just burying everyone.
Trying to dig a grave for everyone who's been killed. And
it really is just
when the pirates showed up, and it's just like, geez.
Sad.
Yes, gives you context for exactly how many people are dying and all of this.
Yeah, it sure does. There's a number of scenes that are really tearful, that are really much more moving than I had anticipated when reading this, and I was really touched at a lot of different points. And you can certainly see the effects that it has on Supergirl as well. I think that the plot again is great. I love that structure of simple a line and then being able to add on to it as you're going and seeing. Then a big part of it is also the character journey you're seeing, which they do a great job of wrapping up. That it's essentially that Supergirl and Ruthie start on opposite ends but end up meeting in the middle.
Yes.
Where Ruthie starts solely bent on revenge, and so Supergirl wants to teach her right from wrong, but then Supergirl sort of loses that thread because of all of the mass death and murder she encounters and sees, and hearing the recounts from survivors as well as just the awfulness, like the blues and the purples.
Go. A very direct, like 1950s analogy, right, with that one.
Pretty cut and dry, clear on that one, but still very nonetheless, that's for sure. And the way that Supergirl, her character, great, so cool. Not just the swearing part, but also she takes drugs from a kid who has them prescribed for anxiety.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that,
she also watches someone get murdered and doesn't try to intervene.
yep. Yep. When some people capture one of the pirates, she's just like,
Yeah.
nope, not my problem.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's like, aren't you gonna save him? She's like, no. So I think that that's great. I think that they do a great job of introducing her as different from Superman right away,
Yes. But which
with
is, I
being
think, one
drunk.
of the most interesting things about her character is she has a low opinion of herself, but
Mhm.
then you realize she has a low opinion of herself because she's comparing herself to Superman. Like
Yeah.
everyone would think themselves like morally inferior to Superman. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So of course she holds it against herself that way. But man, oh my goodness, I love that line. What does she say when she's trapped on the dinosaur planet? She says, because Superman had been there before she had. He had
Yeah.
also been trapped there, and she
Yeah,
gets
I've been
trapped there
trapped for
for
45
nine
minutes.
hours.
Yeah, she was there for 45. He was there for 45 minutes.
And she was trapped there for 9 hours. And it's the expletive is blurred out, but it's very clear that she calls Superman what a little bitch,
Yeah.
which is so great. Which I just love that she's just so great at rough around the edges and that she is incredible. What an I always sort of wonder about how do you sort of navigate Superman? And we talked about that before with All-Star Superman as well, and that he's a hard character to try
Yeah.
and capture. But I mean, you have the same issue with Supergirl, and yet at the same time, she's so vulnerable in this. I think it comes from one. There's certainly a couple of different scenarios she's in where she is like physically vulnerable, but I think it's just the emotional and the mental vulnerability. And Ruthie also has another great part where it's about reframing the way that she thinks about her, where it's not that Supergirl chooses to use her laser vision or her cold breath, but it's that she's actively choosing to not use them,
Yeah.
which I've never thought about before.
Yeah,
But
well, there's a super famous comes from like a Justice League cartoon of Superman being like, I live in a world of cardboard.
mm, mhm,
So
yeah.
that's the similar idea. Like Superman is always holding back.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Supergirl, where she has this
Yeah.
crazy amount of power and rage inside her. And yeah, she flies into a sun and just screams at one point. I'm trying to remember the context of why. I mean, one of the million different reasons that she's
Yes.
emotionally just getting
Yeah.
torn to shreds in
The
this.
scream was she had went into like the archive and saw the
And saw the murder.
yeah.
Yeah. And understandably screams. But something that we haven't yet mentioned, so this book is actually written from Ruthie's point of view.
Yes,
And
she is
so,
the but I think it's very like Sherlock Holmes Watson, where yes, it's
mm,
from Ruthie's point of view. Supergirl is still the protagonist.
yeah, very much so. But I like that it's Ruthie's voice. I think that
Yes.
adds a lot of genuineness
Yes.
to what's
Also,
presented.
I love Ruthie's increasingly verbose way of speaking.
Yeah.
I love characters that do that. I don't know why, but
Yeah, well, it's great. I mean, it is already pretty verbose when it starts.
yeah, but
Like,
it's just the whole way she's like, I can't even, yeah. It's like, if this would offend you, I would like you to reconsider all my things when I talk to you. Like, I love the way she talks like that.
yeah, the way that it's written and the way she speaks is great. She has a very distinct voice, which we often talk about when you're dealing with
Yeah.
this medium. Is it's important that the characters sound different, and she sounds. It's that perfect blend, sort of from what you were saying, where it's clearly English. We all know what she's saying, but it sounds alien because no one talks like that.
Yeah.
Which is very clever. It's a great way to do it, and it makes her very likable. And it's great that she's the one that's telling these stories. And then that the fact that it's a story that's its storytelling is used as well.
Yes.
That
Yes.
she's
It's yeah. We're basically given from the start. Like this all happened in the past. So
Mhm.
yeah, we don't realize how much of a past, but yes,
Yeah.
all all done in the past tense. All of Ruthie's
Mhm.
explanations.
Yeah, because we learned that she was writing a book and recounting this story through her book, which is great. It's good. It's good that it's not like very made super clear that this is a linear recounting. It's pretty apparent, but it's not super hyped up or
Yeah, and they're not really given the explanation of like how they're doing that. Like the classic,
that's true.
like I believe there's always the classic, like even if someone's giving it all in the past tense, they could always be a ghost explaining it. It's that kind of level of, yeah.
Yeah, it is really great that way because then you still feel like you have stakes. You don't know what's going to happen. And I really didn't know right up until the end when I didn't know what they were going to do with Krem when they found him because you kind of assume that they won't necessarily kill him, but it's hard to say. And in that final moment, I think we've all sort of seen that before. They can't kill him. They can't do it.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that
until they can.
Until they can. Well, so that sort of brings us to the end of the plot discussion, which is right at the very end there when after they finally caught up to Krem and they don't kill him. Instead, they send him to the Phantom Zone for 200 years.
I think it's 300 years, but whatever.
Some inordinate long amount of time.
Because they explain it as like he spends the first 100 years angry, he spends the next 100 years, and then like whatever. Hundreds of years in the Phantom.
Yes. And then we fast forward to Supergirl meeting with Ruthie, who's now like over 200 years old, and freeing Krem from the Phantom Zone, who's apparently made up for what he's done and is apologetic and regretful. And then old woman Ruthie clocks him with his staff. You see a spurt of blood. In that scene, do you think that she kills him with her staff?
Yep, I do, 100%. That's what I took from it. I think it was the true like she lived to see him regretful of it, and then she got her revenge. It's like the perfect level of
revenge
hitting that middle ground.
Yeah, make you realize
you live to see your the error of your ways, and then and then no forgiveness for you.
Killed regardless. Yeah, I guess the ultimate comeuppance. That's for sure. Man, what a story though. Goodness gracious. And so it is somewhat non-linear as well, with how we do see Supergirl's origin out of order.
Yeah, so one of the little vignettes is a flashback to how Supergirl survived Krypton. We all know how Superman survived Krypton, but how did Supergirl survive Krypton?
How did Supergirl? Yeah.
Good God.
What are your good God with just the depressing nature of it?
How rough it is.
Yeah. Yeah. She is much more complicated with her survival and having to see the death of Krypton as a adolescent. As opposed
Krypton didn't die in a day. Gods are not so nice.
Yeah,
line. They're literally straight up put in the trailer, so we can assume something similar is going to be in the.
Yeah, the writing in this is exceptional. There's a lot of those lines that are sort of breathtaking and catch you off guard. I was even as I was reading through, just like taking photos of some of them, and just being like, man, I could look back on this just because it's so powerful. Yeah, just with describing how Ruthie felt after her dad was murdered and the bile in her throat, and how she described it as a void of going through each day knowing in the depths of your heart and soul that this moment requires the company of your father, and knowing in the depths of your heart and soul that you will go through this day, this moment, as you now always will, you shall be alone. Woof.
Yeah.
Yeah. The writing in this, I mean, it's really clear that Tom King is great at this. And I mean, even again, that's just an example of that voice that Ruthie has, where it's no one talks like that. But it's so distinct, but we all understand it, and it adds weight to it because it's storytelling. It's very sad, very, very real. But it's not just action and big moments. There's also some slice of life moments in this as well, where it's slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I think those don't feel boring either. Those just feel like they're character building. I mean, especially the hand washing, obviously. Like
Yes.
that one where Supergirl explains to Ruthie how to wash her hands. But
Yeah.
there's
And
even
then we get some fun world building too with like got to make sure it's not acid when you're in space
yes,
in space.
that's
Because
an
it's like
important thing
yeah,
for sure.
I think they do a really good job of like showing how out there some of these worlds are. And that's like
Hmm.
some of the fun part of like taking having to take the interstellar Greyhound and how
Yeah,
miserable that is.
yeah, of course. And like, yeah, the guy falling asleep on her, and yeah, there's these little moments throughout, and her talking into the horse, and yeah, it just makes it feel like it's not just go, 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 that there is the right amounts of pausing, sitting with it, and sort of letting you come to terms with the heaviness and weightiness of what this story is trying to say. Because really thinking about it, what do you sort of take away as what is the story trying to say?
Like it's always so difficult to like try to put it into a single line.
A single sentence or line? You
It's
can
a
take
single
multiple
sentence.
lines.
Yeah, I guess it's like it's definitely talking. It's a thing about revenge and like finding your meaning and all that. Which I'm saying very general stuff with these, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think that finding meaning and loss, I think is
Yeah,
exactly what this is. I think
yes,
there's a lot of those examples in it. This is a story about how do you move on from insurmountable loss, and also that loss can look different in scale to different people.
yeah, yeah.
Because there's
Uh,
also the scene where the alien warrior who comes back and can't mourn, can't figure it out, so Supergirl provokes them
yeah, yeah.
until they just attack.
Which is yes, another line that gets used a lot with the I'm big, you're small.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use that a lot about yes. What does it mean to
Mhm.
be big? What does it mean to be small?
Yeah, yeah, sure is a good question. It gets asked a lot. Hoof, hoof, hoof. Um, man, it's yeah, some of my favorite writing, so much memorable lines in this. So many, and not just the lines, but the art as well. It's one of those stories I can't really imagine a different art style. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's perfect for the story that it's trying
yeah.
to tell.
It's very classically comic book, but also like very sword and sorcery kind of
Mhm.
like old school pulp illustrations kind of things.
Hmm. Yeah, almost of all. I mean, calling back to Planet Hulk with our other sword and sorcery, there is
Yeah,
certainly some similar stylistic choices there as well. Just with you have your bright colors, you have your thin lines. You're not going over the top. It's like realism based without it being the over
yeah,
crazy muscular. Everyone has a muscle on every part of their body.
yeah. Like yeah, really good use of like alien colors, lots of plants that are weird colors, lots of
Hmm.
skies that aren't any color the Earth has, that kind of thing.
Yeah, totally. Well, so then speaking about like you were talking about some of the different designs and the space stuff. So what are your thoughts on the different designs of the characters? And obviously we'll tie back into this in when we're discussing the movie as well and some of the changes there. But what are your thoughts on like Krem ultimately just looks like your classic pirate
Yeah,
that
he's very there's not a lot to Krem's design. I think he has like little ears things that like to make him look not quite human,
Mhm.
but for the most part, yeah, he's just like a guy with a beard.
Yeah, he's just like a
Yeah,
ginger with a beard and
yeah, and
very
then
much looks like a pirate.
yeah, and Supergirl, I think they do a good job. Supergirl always looks like slightly out of place in the frame
Mm.
in her Supergirl outfit. Because
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. And then Ruthie, similar to Krem, is very much non memorable in their like very simple in their design.
yeah,
They're small, but with a little bit of pointed ears, showing that her and Krem are from the same place. But yeah, it just really allows Supergirl to be the focal point of the visual, and that she does stand out as an alien, which is very cool. It's not always easy to catch that. So yeah, there's
yeah.
just
Which I
so
actually,
much.
yeah, I don't think you see a single human in the entire story.
Yeah, I guess you might not. That's pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
or I guess Comet. It's Comet human.
Okay, so we have now talked about how much I love this. I think this story is incredible. I love the writing. I love so much of this. We have to talk about the horse in the room.
Yeah. Comet asked you to address him.
Comet has been asked to be addressed now, finally. What is this horse?
Okay, so I'm pretty this is something that a lot of modern comic writers love to do, which is let's bring some like crazy stupid part from like the 1960s or 1970s and like throw it into the modern era, which is Comet the Super Horse.
But let's not do that. Counterpoint. How about no? Okay, because so this is again, I've never read Supergirl. I don't have that big of a comic background as I described in the intro. I'm a Comet acolyte. I don't know who Comet the Super Horse is. So this horse just shows up and just like can travel faster than anything.
Yeah.
But then spoilers dies and was a man.
Yeah. So also I think another thing that needs to be pointed out, I've never even read a comic, not counting this one with Comet in it. Comet had been, remember how I mentioned Supergirl died in the 1985 Crisis of Infinite Earths?
Mm-hmm.
Comet hadn't appeared since then.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying with how long, like Comet was like one of those, like I had only heard of Comet because like a Cracked article from like 2009 made fun of him. Like that's how obscure of a character Comet was.
Right. Good Lord. Okay. So then what is your opinion of Comet being reintroduced out of the blue in order to super speedy run away from a teleporting Modru globe?
So I actually kind of loved it personally.
Okay. Interesting.
This is where, because like it's this is so it because like Comet often when people make fun of like comic books and Supergirl, it's like Comet the Super Horse is one of the ones that get brought up. Like, so it was kind of fun to bring him back. Like in this, what at the time, like I don't know if they realized at the time, what would become like the modern zeitgeist story of Supergirl. Like, let's bring in that like famous little part of her weird origin stories from the 1970s.
Okay. And you were into it when it happened because of the over-the-top nature of it, you mean?
The over-the-top nature of it. And honestly, I like the idea of like, you need to be faster than anything. So you got to you've got to get on your horse because you're already Superman. So if your horse is going to make you go faster, if you're already a Kryptonian, if you have a horse that'll make you go faster, then good God, it's going to make you go fast.
Yeah. That is very true. It's got to go super duper fast to be able to escape time and space and reach the ends of the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like Comet. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I had a hard time with Comet. It just because there's no context for it. The horse just appears at the time it was needed. And solves the problem. I'm trying to think. There's a specific. What's the name of that term in film?
Deus Ex Machina is the classic one for like a thing that just comes out of no God in the machine. God just appears and goes question answered. Which is this isn't quite a Deus Ex Machina. It's kind of just like a because it doesn't just solve everything. It's like a. Is there a more delicate way of putting this than this is just kind of just like an ass pull?
Yeah. Is it a MacGuffin? No, it's no. MacGuffin moves the plot forward. No,
Deus Ex Machina is the word you're looking for.
Yeah. Okay. Comments to the Deus Ex Machina, which I didn't love. I'm torn because the visual is very cool, and I know that visually it is an absolutely striking image to see this horse racing across space-time, and I love the visual of it. But from a reading perspective, it did take me out, and I had the hardest time reading that part because this entire book, I didn't feel out of the loop. I was able to figure out what was going on as someone that doesn't read comics until the horse. And then I felt like I wasn't part of the conversation anymore. But again, that's one small blemish for myself personally, but hey, maybe you're like Spence and you're into the man that turned into a horse.
Weird 1970s comic stuff when it gets brought back. Yeah. Oh man, if ever we do Batman Rip and when Batman of Zor-El shows up, oh man. Oh
gosh, please no. I don't need any of that. But no, I mean, other than that, everything pretty much makes sense. It's all self-contained within the story. Even Crypto, you just need to know she has a dog.
Yeah.
Like, and Crypto, I think that that's what I was missing with Comet, is I wanted an intro like Crypto. You just needed like a few little panels showing where this thing is coming from, even early on, so I can expect this as something to call back to. But no, alas, not the case.
Yeah.
No,
Get more Legion of Super Pets. Just more explanation of that was the thing they tried in like the 1970s.
Oh my God, all the different super things. That's pretty
so
funny.
like both Comet and Crypto were part of them, as well as like Ace the Bat Hound. And
okay.
was Wonder Woman's had a kangaroo, I think.
Oh God, I'll take your word for it. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's very funny, but
okay. Oh yeah, here we go. Crypto the super dog, Streaky the super cat, Beepo the super monkey, Comet the super horse.
Oh God. Okay, I do recognize this. Ridiculous.
Oh, Chip the Squirrel Green Lantern. That's legit.
So funny.
Detective Chip.
All right.
Poppy the Marble Bunny.
Oh my God. These are a mistake. This is comics. Come on. You're better than
Rex
this.
the Wonder Dog, Ace the Bat Hound, Bleak.
Good Lord.
The talking monkey from Super Friends.
Wow, they just really throw as much spaghetti at the wall as they can and see what sticks. Yeah. That's pretty funny. Well, I do have one last question for you on the plot. So in the story that Ruthie writes, she says that Supergirl is the one that killed Krim. That she moved her sword swiftly through the air and stabbed down and through the chest of the kneeling brigand. And after it was done, she returned the bloody blade to my hand. Why do you think she lies in the book?
Well, I think they explained that they like so this is like the official story, and that Krim is dead, and that in reality they put him in the Phantom Zone instead.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't they like go kind of into like why they lied or something, didn't they? I feel like there's something about that.
I don't think so. Okay. I liked your book. That fictitious fiddle faddle. I'm sorry you had to waste your time on it. Don't know why I wrote that tome in the first place. I should have told what really happened if I had any guts at all. You think I'm scared of a brigand at my age?
Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah, okay. It's like, yes, they lied about that Krim was still alive.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that way the brigands wouldn't try and get to the Phantom Zone, as well as then they wouldn't come after Ruthie because she's not the one that killed Krim.
Yeah, they go after Supergirl because Supergirl can handle it. And they mentioned that part of their like the brigands' code is that they'll do everything to save one of theirs if they get caught.
Yeah. Okay, this all makes more sense now. And yeah, it's a great way to also just show Supergirl's whole story about protecting Ruthie, and the fact that she didn't actually need to be chasing down Krim because Crypto was going to be fine. He was never poisoned the whole time. Yeah. But she did.
I wonder if we're going to do that with. Okay, yeah. Actually, well, we're not at movie conversation yet.
Hey, that's very interesting. We can move into that with a final thing. I mean, to make it clear, I would recommend this to anyone who is ready for an emotional weighted journey. Yes. This is heavier than I would recommend for a child. A child should not read this. But I think as a teenager,
I think to truly appreciate it, a good like barometer to truly appreciate it, you need to be able to fill in the square words whenever scoop around.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, if you
because it's very clear what they all are, but they don't write them out. So you just have to be able to read that and like naturally know which one she's using.
Exactly. Gosh, I love that she swears. It just makes her personality so good. This Supergirl is great. What a great character. But yeah, I would say everyone who can should read this. It's a great story. It's really, really good, and it doesn't require any background knowledge. They fill in the pieces that you need. You could really read this as like your first comic. You just kind of understand. They do a great job of explaining because you're introduced to the world as Ruthie is, with learning a lot as you go. That would be my recommendation. This is one of my top. This has been 2026 has been a banner year of comics for the Lone Comics Book Club, and this is another one that's right up near the top for me. But what about you, Spence? What would you say your overall impression and recommendation is?
Oh yeah, highly recommended it. Have highly recommended it to lots of people actually at the store. It's a great one. 100% like go. Depending on when you read this, either if you want to know if you're going to like the Supergirl movie or have watched the Supergirl movie and want more of it, read the comic. Or if the Supergirl movie's bad and you wonder how It's like clearly this comic, you see the comic that did it originally better.
Yeah. How could it have come from this comic and gone sideways? Well, we will have to find out when the movie comes out. But in the interim, if you're wanting to fill that void and hear all of, if and read all about Supergirl, if you haven't already done so, swing by Vesperia and pick up the comic. So, moving into our second section, we've been hinting at the movie. You were just chatting about it there as well. So, Supergirl coming out 2026 in on June 26th.
Yeah.
6
5 days after this
6.
comes out,
Uh-oh.
question mark.
Yikes.
Yeah.
6 days. Yeah,
6 days.
something to that effect. But yeah, essentially we have only seen trailers and stuff, and so it's pretty exciting that they have the Supergirl movie coming out. What are your thoughts from? We have some predictions, but first, what are your thoughts looking at the trailers and all the? It's a huge media buildup around this. I feel like it's bigger than something I've sort of dealt with DC. There's so much talk around this.
Yeah. Well, it's because it is the second. So because I think Superman was successful. People really liked Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the next one. So let's see how do they keep the momentum going, kind of thing.
Yeah, can they keep the speed up? That's for sure. And so based on what you've seen, what do you think from the trailers and stuff? Do you have questions, concerns, things you're wondering about, especially in the context of this graphic novel?
No, like I'm pretty I'm cautiously optimistic about those trailers. I think it looks good. Yeah. So I guess we'll get the real question, the big thing difference is Lobo.
Huge difference. The large difference. So for those who might not know Lobo, myself included, what is Lobo's deal?
So Lobo is a parody of 90s overly edgy attitude heroes.
Okay.
So Lobo is a joke, like deliberately meant to be play up as like he's the coolest guy ever. He doesn't listen to anyone. He like does what he wants, and he's been a like mainstay, incredible popular part of DC Comics since his creation in like late 80s, early 90s. When exactly did Lobo start?
And so very much the antithesis of Supergirl.
Yeah. Oh, 83. Wow, early. Yeah. And then yes, and notably Lobo is not in any way, shape, or form included in the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic, but apparently is like the co-lead character of Woman of Tomorrow. Like, I believe he appears in the trailers more than Ruthie does.
Yeah, I think you're correct. So I was wondering if you were aware. So in mid 2023, Tom King went on the Word Balloon podcast and said that originally Lobo was actually going to be part of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
I did not know this part. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So that book, this is from Tom King. That book began as me pitching a Lobo Supergirl book, said the Mr. Miracle writer, which is Tom King. And it was my editors, Brittany Holzer and Jamie Rich, who were like, no, take Lobo out and make Supergirl the Rooster Cogburn character.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So extremely interesting.
That's very interesting. So I guess that asks the question, is Supergirl going to be more of the I should really know. What is the girl's in True Grit name? True Grit. Yeah, I don't want to just call her
Maddie.
There we go. Yes. Didn't want to call her Haley Steinfeld.
You think Supergirl's going to be the Maddie character? No.
Well, I know, not at all. But like, that sound like what you just explained is the original pitch of the story kind of implies that was going to be the plan.
Yeah. So super interesting. I don't know. So I would wonder, I think that's my main only area of concern is that it was originally decided that Lobo didn't fit this story. So then how is it going to go to try and shoehorn him back in?
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. And what do you think of, I mean, we didn't talk about the title of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. It makes sense in the context of that graphic novel, that this is essentially the reintroduction to this character.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I think like as a title for that story specifically, it doesn't really add anything, but like as the title for the thing, like our modern centerpiece for the Supergirl lore, like you couldn't pick a better title.
That's true. It sure does.
Yeah. Like Guess they knew it was going to be great when they picked that title.
Yeah, that's pretty funny that they committed to it.
Yeah.
So Supergirl, the film, though, not having that second part.
Yes,
Do
was
you think
originally
that's
going to have that second part.
interesting?
Yeah.
Why do you think pull it out? I guess just
Probably,
to.
yeah. My guess, I think legitimately they didn't want you to think it was a sequel to like the Faye Dunaway movie.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like make it stand on it, make it stand on its own as much as humanly possible. Don't make it sound like a sequel.
Interesting.
And
Hmm.
also Superman, like yeah.
Wow.
So Superman, Supergirl, adding a title to the second one just seems unnecessary.
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't really have to do that. That makes sense as well. Okay, so we sort of talked about our first impressions, where we're hopeful for it, but the Lobo part is the I think myself and I think a number of people are wondering about how big is Lobo going to be in this, because if you're just retelling Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, you have a great story to tell,
Yes.
and does adding in this extra ingredient mess up that story?
Yeah, but also like I wouldn't want just a straight like shot for shot remake of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow in movie form.
No, that's fair as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I think I think there's enough greatness there.
Yeah.
But that's the before we talk about our predictions, that's my other question. Where do you think they have to sort of pull back, or do you think that they can go all the way to some of the intense
Oh,
darkness?
I think that part absolutely they can pull back. I think more a lot of like the internal monologue stuff with Ruthie would be
Hmm.
the issue with making it a movie.
Right.
Like I wouldn't want like 15 minutes of Ruthie over speaking eloquently, like explaining all of her thoughts like they have in the
Mm,
it works great for a comic, wouldn't work as well for a movie.
that's true. Yeah, that's a fair. I mean, I don't even think they'll probably do Ruthie as the main point of view, is my bet, especially from the trailer as any indicator.
Yeah, I could still see them using her as like doing some narration and like
Yeah.
leading with Krem killing her dad in the first scene of the movie. I can
Mhm.
very much see that happening, and that's the kind of thing you just wouldn't include in the trailer if it was the case.
That's true. That's a good point. But yeah, I mean the trailers are obviously very action focused.
Yeah.
You wouldn't really catch up that it's also potentially a very tight um character drama from the trailer, which it's fine because I don't think tight DC character drama is what's going to sell the tickets. So
No.
it makes sense they're trying to hype up the action
Yes.
part of it. So then talking about some
Yeah.
predictions.
I guess the one thing we should talk about first is Jason Momoa. How do we feel about Jason Momoa?
We've talked about this in before as well in one of our other podcasts,
Oh
but
yeah.
if there was ever going to be a Lobo, it is
Yeah,
Jason
it's
Momoa.
100%
He
Jason
is
Momoa. It's
built.
it's perfect casting. So
It's perfect casting. It's
yeah,
just a question of if this is supposed to be the Lobo story.
yeah,
I mean, I'll be curious to see. It feels like you could have put him really anywhere. Like because he's kind of everywhere, right? Like you were just saying, like he could
yeah.
have been in Superman too.
Oh, easily. That's part of the great part about Lobo could show up for like 5 minutes and
Hmm.
be like gruff and like I don't know, steal someone's bounty and just like piece it out of there, and it would be great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking about just showing up for 5 minutes, that was going to be one of our predictions. So three different predictions we're giving. The first of which we can talk about then is the cameo. So you just said character just showing up for 5 minutes and then piecing it. There
Yeah,
was a bunch of different cameos in the first Superman movie.
yeah.
Um, Perhaps the most memorable for me is Elemental Man,
Oh, Metamorpho.
Metamorpho, because I don't think Metamorpho was in the trailer or anything.
He's in for the trailer for like 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. But
Yes.
uh,
Most notable cameo I remember was Peacemaker, and that was a true cameo.
oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So then what do you think? Do you think there's going to be, I mean, it's a superhero movie. There's going to be cameos.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
who's your bet on who we can anticipate as a cameo?
That's like I bet you they're gonna take like a deep cut of something.
Hmm. Okay.
Like I bet you. So we already know Superman appears in the movie at some amount. Like he's credited and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Probably it'll probably be like 5 minutes of like a video call at some point. I bet you it'll be very
Hmm.
small.
Yeah.
But and like wouldn't surprise maybe like some Green Lanterns or the Justice Gang or something like that's going to show up. Um,
Hmm.
can't imagine Clayface is going to show up, but that would be very funny if they somehow
No,
shoehorn that
that's true.
in. Yeah. But yeah, I bet you it'll be some like deep cut, like Martian Manhunter is going to show up, or like the Legion of
Okay.
Superheroes is going to show up, or yeah,
Yeah.
Adam
Manhunter.
Strange or Starfire.
Well, you can't keep naming all these people. That's too many guesses.
I know,
But
but well, yeah. Well, my guess is some deep cut for something that hasn't even been announced in any way, shape, or form.
yeah,
So
that's what I was
that
wanting to
feels like
say.
that's a pretty
That's a safe thing to say.
yeah.
That's basically saying your guess of a cameo is that there's going to be a cameo.
Well, no, well, like my guess of a cameo is it's not going to be like directly tied to something that's already been announced.
Okay, interesting. Okay, but I like your. I'm going to hold you to more of the Black Adam, Starfire, Manhunter. So those all seem like good guesses.
Yeah,
Because I was actually going to say my guess is a Green Lantern.
yeah,
But my guess is it's one that hasn't been in yet. So I was actually going to
yes.
put my money on Kyle Rayner. Is that
Kyle
right?
Rayner. Because
Okay.
have you seen the Lanterns trailer?
I have seen the Lanterns trailer. So this is a TV series that's upcoming from
Yes.
HBO and DC.
Yes. Which is also
And
interesting. It
so
is going to be hard R rated.
there you go. And that is featuring Hal Jordan and John
Jon Stewart.
Stewart.
Yeah.
Therefore, we already have
And then yeah, and then we already have Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner. So that's why I think that they're going to do Kyle in this.
Kyle Rayner.
Because my guess is that they're building out the Green Lantern
Yes,
core.
because I would say also they might do one of the like space Green Lanterns, one of the other planets Green Lanterns.
Well, I was originally wondering if they were going to do Sinestro. So this is one of the famous villains, but I was looking at lanterns and he's already yellow and lanterns. So it wouldn't make sense
Okay.
that he's green in this.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
But
just more thinking
otherwise,
if
that
they do
is.
like a space Green Lantern, that would be like a good way to introduce them. Because clearly Lanterns is
Mm,
based on Earth, but like
yeah.
there will be Green Lanterns in space. So if they do like Crew or
Yeah.
Chip or Nort or someone like that,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, I don't know any of those people, but there you go. My bet's on a
Or
Green Lantern.
Mogo. Let's hope it's Mogo.
Let's hope it's
Mogo
Mogo.
is a planet.
I
So
doubt
he
it's
is a
Mogo
sentient
then.
planet Green Lantern.
I mean, actually, maybe it could be. That sounds like the perfect context to introduce
Yeah.
Mogo.
Mogo is
Um,
everyone loves Mogo. Mogo's the best.
That's very funny. Okay. Well, we'll see if it's a Green Lantern or if it's one of the deep cut space aliens
Yeah.
when the movie comes out. So, the next prediction, what do you think is going to be the darkest moment? Because there's a number of dark moments here. Sort of
Yeah.
when it comes to, for those not familiar with like film structure, there's always the darkest moment that a character has, and then they overcome it, and then you've sort of reached your climax, and then the movie
Yeah.
works towards its conclusion from there.
Yeah. I could see them just straight up including the like archive into Scream and Sun moment.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Just
so
straight
you
up
think,
planting that like scene for scene.
yeah.
Don't show it. Just show Supergirl's reaction to it.
And you think that'll be the darkest?
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
then
that's
that'll be the
emotionally the darkest
yeah.
hour, but you think it's because it'll be more focused on like, rather than a physical obstacle she's overcoming, it'll be
Yeah.
focused on the mental.
The mental issue of it, and then her, which I get, because I guess if you want to take like the physical example of that, it would be the planet, the Green Sun
Yeah.
planet.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like based on what we can see from the movie, like the stuff, I don't know, a more emotional
Hmm.
dark moment might
Yeah.
work.
Cool. Yeah, my guess was going to be the Dino Planet with the green sun was going to be the darkest moment, and then getting the will to live and caring is what gets her through.
Yeah.
But
I just
very
worry that
interesting.
if they in the movie if they do the Dino Planet, it'll just end with Lobo showing up and saving them.
Yeah, I really hope not. That would be such a
Yeah,
cop
because
out.
that kind of doesn't feel like the whole point of that scene is them getting it through it themselves.
Yeah, that they persevere. For the whole 9 hours, unlike Superman, that little bitch. So good. Oh, I love that. That's so funny to me. Okay, but we both don't think it's actually the space pirate fight, which is interesting.
No, space pirate fight, like her air quotes like losing in the space pirates fight, that just feels
Mhm.
like that doesn't feel necessary. Just have her. You can just have
No.
her go ham against the.
That's true. But I
pirate
do
ship.
like in the book that Ruthie even speaks to that, where she
Yeah.
sort of says, like, you know that she's going to win this fight, but you have to understand how difficult it is. It's not just,
Yeah.
oh, of course she wins. It's like, no, it is crazy that she wins this, just so you're aware.
Yes.
And then the final prediction. So we've had our cameo, we've had our darkest moment. What do you think is going to be the plot twist? Because every story has a plot twist.
Yeah, that makes it the hard. Then it's often the hardest part. If it's done right, you shouldn't be able to
To
figure it
predict
out.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a guess as to what a plot twist might be? Because I do have one.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, because I don't really have anything too concrete. Like,
Hmm.
I could see
Okay.
them doing something with like Lobo being involved, the pirates or something like that, even though that's not really his MO. But
Hmm.
yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, Lobo flipping on them feels very like an easy thing, and then he flips the other way. That would be sort of basic
Yeah, and I
storytelling.
was also thinking like Lobo could have been involved with Krem in the past and not like ever
Hmm.
admitted it. That feels like
Yeah,
they could easily do.
that could be a easy plot twist. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
My guess was actually going to be that Krem isn't the big bad
Oh,
because some it's I mean no shade, but I don't like the character design of Krem. So Krim in the book we already talked about, he's essentially a ginger, very classic pirate with a beard and long wavy hair who just has pointy ears. But in the movie, what we've seen is that he's like covered with dots on
yeah,
his face and
yeah.
he's
He's
bald.
he's very Hellraiser.
Yeah, and very like this is a villain,
Yeah,
which doesn't make sense to me because they're so committed to staying true to comics. And I'm trying to wrap my head around why would you choose to go so hard right turn? Because I think part of what's great about Krem is that he's essentially just a guy.
yeah,
And then he gets into this scenario where he gets on a ship, he's running away, he's being essentially a coward. And then he gets wrapped up with the brigands. But he's essentially just proof that all bad men can go true evil if given circumstance. Whereas when you're looking at the image of this guy, you're like, well,
yeah.
obviously he's a villain.
Basically a Cenobite. Um,
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. I guess I'm part of it could just be wishful thinking,
yeah, but
but
honestly, I think you bring a good point. Like Krem is more of a villain for like a book than would you typically have a movie. He doesn't lend himself well to like the big bombastic finale, and we have that with the space
mhm,
pirates. But
that's
like
true.
having someone else captaining the space pirate ship and being the actual big bad to give it more of a
Yeah,
face feels like something that we would do in a movie.
or am I almost wondering maybe this isn't actually this is a guy who's pretending to be Krem, but it's not
Um,
actually Krem. I think they
okay.
do show a scene of him shooting an arrow probably into Crypto, but
Yeah. Oh,
something tells
yes.
me there's
So I guess
more to this.
that could be a point that like him shooting crypto and then him killing like because he really has two different villain origins air quotes even though he's like obviously evil but
Mm-hmm.
villain's origins for these people was like killing the father and then shooting crypto maybe he only actually does one of them
Hmm. Yeah, I wondering if it's something different with the other with
yeah or if
maybe
someone else
the
actually kills the dad and it's something yeah
yeah, or it's a different Krem kills the dad, and then this Krem kills
or shoots
shoots
crypto
Crypto,
with the arrow
and then it's realizing that even though they defeat this guy, that's not actually the person that killed Ruthie's dad. I don't know. I think it's something to that effect. I think there's something going on with Krem. That's my guess at a plot twist, but we will have to wait and see in a few days to find out if our predictions are right or not. And we will circle back to it in a future episode and talk about our predictions. We'll see whether we talk about it on a existing episode or if we add a bonus episode of going back to our predictions. Maybe we'll do a little bonus episode. That could be
yeah
fun.
or yeah I don't know we could throw it into the it doesn't have to be about the thing we're talking about
That's
yeah
true.
yeah
Yeah. All right. So I'd say we're just winding down towards the end of the episode, but of course we need to introduce what's next on the reading docket. So Spence, what do the fine folks at home and I get to look forward to reading next?
I think it's time to like embrace the vibes, man. Let's go with some vibes. It also has
Okay.
got some mystery and some romance going. We'll be doing Kowloon Generic Romance.
Oh, this is a recent anime.
Yes, recently had an anime. Um,
Oh.
but yes, and also the manga is also just starting to finish. We'll be doing the first volume of this one.
Oh, cool. So this won't be a single wrapped up in one volume.
No, not at all. I'm
No.
honestly kind of thinking back to like this is going to be very
Not even
interesting only
close.
doing the first one because You're going to have a lot of questions by the end of it that aren't answered even as far as the anime, the manga is.
That's pretty funny. All right. Well, it's always fun to just read the start of a series to see if it's the kind of thing that can hook you and keep you going as well. But cool. Kowloon Generic Romance, the manga, is our next book club book for the Long Comics Book Club. And of course, you can order that at VesperiaComics.com for pickup at Vesperia Manga and Comics if you're in the lower mainland of British Columbia, or you can also order that for Canada-wide shipping. And that's it for episode 39 of the Long Comics Book Club. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to follow the show on your preferred podcast platform, as well as Long Comics Book Club on Blue Sky and Instagram, and get in the Discord and share your own thoughts on anything we talked about today, or give us a review of Kowloon Generic Romance in advance of the July 4th podcast. Or let us know what you thought of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow or Supergirl the movie. Lots of great content going on at the moment, and always keen to hear from new voices on what you think of them. But we will be coming back to the airwaves in a couple of weeks in July, and we'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.
See ya.